Alright, so for our next lesson, we're going to be covering quadrilaterals and the properties of parallelograms, part 1. So here we have rhombuses, kites, trapezoids, parallelograms, squares, quadrilaterals, and rectangles. So those are all the four-sided figures that we have, because that's what quad means, is quadrilaterals. So your most basic type of quadrilateral, or four-sided figure, that's what we start with, is quadrilaterals. So I'm going to go ahead and write in here, quadrilaterals. And you're going to need this with your assignment, okay? So make sure that you guys have this handy. And then you have three different types of quadrilaterals. So we classify them three different ways. The first one is if it has no parallel sides. The next one if it has one pair of parallel sides. And then the next one if it has, oh, whoops, I went the wrong direction. It has two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so so these are the ones that we have all to classify. So one pair of parallel sides is going to be your trapezoids. Okay, so right here, trapezoid. So if I make a little picture real quick, if we look here, this would be our one pair of parallel sides, these two right here. That's my pair of parallel sides. Then we have our two pairs of parallel sides. Those ones are your parallelograms. So right here we're going to write parallelograms. Okay, and your parallelograms look something like this. And so this side is parallel to this side, and then the same way this side is a parallel to this side right here. Okay, and then so we do have some special types of parallelograms. Okay, our two special pairs of parallelograms are, one has four right angles. So if it has four right angles, this is called a rectangle. Okay, we have another one that has four congruent sides. So if it has four congruent sides, it is a rhombus. Okay, and then you have the special one that has both four right angles and four congruent sides, and that is called a square. Okay, so it has both of them. So then from there, we have the one that has no parallel sides, so that is going to be your kites. Okay, kites. Your kites look like this, so these two sides are not parallel to these two sides. Okay, kind of, these two sides are a little bit longer, and then these ones are a little bit shorter, so you end up not having the parallel sides. It kind of looks parallel in the picture that I just made, but it isn't, okay? So then from here it says, the map above shows the most common quadrilaterals and some of their characteristics. Our study of quadrilaterals will begin with properties of parallelograms. So our properties of parallelograms, these are parallelograms, just in case you don't remember, we have our rectangles, our rhombuses, and our squares. So they have five common properties, okay? So the first one is that their opposite sides are parallel. Okay, so remember this little arrow here shows that it is parallel to this side. And then they will put two little arrows to show that this side is parallel to this side. Okay? And so when we're writing this down, we would write it as GH is parallel to FJ. And then we would write GF is parallel to HJ. Okay? And the next one, opposite sides are congruent. So this is similar to this one where GF is going to be congruent. Now, it's not parallel, they are parallel, but the congruency statement is a different symbol. It's an equal sign with a little squiggly on top. So GF is congruent to HJ. And then here, GH is parallel to FJ. Okay, so now the next thing is the opposite angles are also congruent. So our opposite angles that are congruent, for example, G is opposite J, they are congruent, which means they're equal in measure. So angle G is congruent to angle J. And here we have F and H. So angle F is congruent to angle H. Okay. The next thing is that the diagonals bisect each other. So bisect means to cut into two equal parts, okay? So then the two diagonals, if you don't remember, these are diagonals. That means they cut each other in half. So since they cut each other in half, if you notice here, they use one tally mark here, which means from F to P should be the same from H to P. So F to P is congruent to P or HP. HP, because we're going from the outside in. The same goes when we're going from G to P, is going to be the same as from J to P. All right, so next it says consecutive angles are supplementary. So if you don't remember what supplementary is, I know I had showed you guys a little thing where I remember the S in supplementary, we can make like a little 8 and make it to a 180. So that means they add up to 180 degrees. That's what supplementary means, okay? So consecutive angles, that means the ones that are side by side. So for example, G is side by side with H. Okay, so the measure of angle G plus the measure of angle H is going to be 180. Okay. Now G is also consecutive with F. So the measure of angle G plus the measure of angle F is going to give us 180. Okay. Then from there we have let me see. So G is next to F. Let's see. F is next to J. So the measure of angle F plus the measure of angle J is going to give us 180. And then J is also right next to H. So that means that J and H, if you add them together, they're going to give you 180. So let's go ahead and do some problems. So it says use the properties of parallelograms to find the indicated measures. So the first rule is that the opposite angles, so A and C are opposite each other. That means they should be the same measure. So if that one's 110, then this one is also 110. Then we use a rule that we just went over, the consecutive angles, which are the ones that are side by side. So D and A should add up to 180. So if I do 180 minus the 110, that is going to give me 70 degrees. So that means angle D is going to be 70 degrees. And then since it's opposite angle B should also be 70. Okay, number 2. So on number 2, we do have one of the diagonals drawn. We have this diagonal right here that's drawn right in the middle. So first, just by looking here, they give us this angle is 113 and opposite angle 113 is angle 1. Okay, and they should be equal. Okay, then we need to go back to the lesson that we had on parallel lines. So I'm just going to extend this. These are my two parallel lines. They're cut by this transversal. And so then the alternate interior angles should be equivalent. So that means angle 2 should be the same as angle 3. So angle 3 should be 22 degrees. And then angle 2 should be the same as angle 45. And so this is 45 degrees. Alrighty. So the next one here, it says find each measure in the parallelogram Lm and P. Okay, so let's look at the sides first. They do tell us that this side is 10, so that means this side should also be 10. So LP, this one's LP, this is 10 meters. Alright, so here this is 12, and this is also 12 ml. So then here's ml, this is going to be 12 meters. Alright, so then we're going to kind of, let me see, we still have more sides. They tell us that from here to here, from L to Q, whoops. Try to change marker. From L to Q, that is 9. So that means from Q to N should also be 9, which is, they're asking for it right here, 9. And then they're also asking from L to N, which is the whole thing, from here all the way to this end. So if that's 9 and this side's 9, the whole thing is 18. All right, looking at the angles, let's go ahead and see what they're asking us for. So they're asking us for LPM. So if I look here, L to P to M, they're talking about this angle right here. Okay, so if you notice, it is alternate interior angles with this one. So that one's 62, this one's also 62. And then last, MLN, so M to L to N. So they are asking for this angle right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. This one might take a little bit of math to figure out because they do tell us this side is 32, and so this side is 32, and they're alternate interior angles. So that's it. All right, the next one says CDEF is a parallelogram. Find each measure. So they do add some algebra in here. So by looking at our parallelogram, we know this side should be equal to this side. So that means that I'm going to set it up. 4w plus 8 should be equal to 5w plus 1. And we start solving for w. So we subtract the 4w. This cancels out. We get 8 equals w plus 1. We move the 1 to the other side, and this gives us 7 equals, this cancels w. Okay, but they're not asking us for w here. They're asking us for other things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that w and I'm going to plug it in here. So 7 times 4 gives us 28 plus 8 gives us 36. And if we did this correctly, this other one should also give us 36. So 5 times 7 is 35 plus 1 is also 36. So from C to D, that gives us 36. From E to F, that also gives us 36. And now we're looking for F and E. So these two angles are what we call consecutive angles, which means that they're side by side. So that means they're not equal, they should add up to an 80. So I'm going to set it up here. We have 9z minus 12 plus 3z equals 180. Okay. 9z and 3z together give us 12z minus 12 equals 180. We move the 12, so we add the 12. This cancels. We get 12z equals 192. We divide both sides by 12, and we get z equals 192 divided by 12. That gives us 16. So now I take that z and plug it in. So 3 times 16, it gives me 48. So angle F is 48. And then I plug it in the other one. So 9 times 16 minus 12. And that gives me 132, which is angle E. So angle E is 132. And angle F is 48. All right, so we have 2 more problems. So here it says given parallelogram ABCD, find each measure. So the rule in this parallelogram, if you don't remember, the diagonals bisect each other. Here it is, right here. The diagonals bisect each other. So that means they should be equal in measure. So if I look here, this side should be the same as this side. So I'm going to set it up. Y plus 10 should equal 6y. Same with this side. The 4x minus 6 should equal the 3x. 4x minus 6 equals 3x. We're going to start solving for x. Or let's start with y, sorry, because I wrote that one first. So I'm going to go ahead and move this y to the other side by subtracting y. And we get 10 equals 5y. We divide both sides by 5, and we get 2 equals y. All right, and then the next one here, we're going to go ahead and move the 4x to the other side. Minus 4x is negative 6. We get is equal to negative 1x. We solve for x by dividing by negative 1, and we get 6 equals, this cancels, x. Okay, so now that we know x and y, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So here, 3 times 6 gives us 18. If we did this right, it should give you the same thing here. So 4 times 6 is 24, minus 6 is also 18. So that means the whole thing from B all the way to D, 18 plus 18 is 36. So from B to D is 36. From B to E is 18, and from D to E is also 18. And then they gave us units. Our units are inches. Okay, now with the y, so we found out that y is equal to 2, so when I plug it in here, 6 times 2 gives me 12. Or here, 2 plus 10 gives me 12. That makes the whole thing 12 plus 12, 24. So from A to E is 12, C to E is 12, and then A to C is 24. All of the units are inches. And the last one here, it says the perimeter of parallelogram CDEF is 54. Find the length of F to C if D to E is 5 centimeters longer than E to F. Okay, so let me go ahead and make a picture. Here is my parallelogram. It says, find the length, it's C, D, E, F. Let me label it, sorry, C, D, E, F. Okay, when we add up all the sides, they tell us that the perimeter is 54. So we have 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we add all of those up, it should give us the 54. Okay. Then it says find the length of F to C. So since they're telling us to find the length from F to C, we're looking for this side. If DE, so from here to here, is 5 centimeters longer than E to F. Okay, so if this one's 5 centimeters longer from this one, I'm going to go ahead and call that an X. Okay, so 5 plus X will give me this side here. This side is X, that means this side is also X, and this side is 5 plus X. So I'm going to add up all the sides. 5 plus X plus X plus 5 plus X plus X. Here we have a total of 4 X's. We combine the 5's. 5 plus 5 is 10 equals 54. And we're going to start solving for X by moving over the 10 first. So we get 4X equals 44 when we subtract 54 minus 10. We divide by 4 and we get X equals 11. But that's not what they're asking us for. They're asking us from C to F. So we're going to do 5 plus 11, which gives us 16 units, centimeters. And that's it. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.